There you go. Huh. More of a darkness guy myself, but I can make it work. Thank you to our final patron, Strawbones, Widow 4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. Now, we're having this breakdown / discussion on what I would do if I had the powers of light. Ark. From 7 Deadly Sins. Please leave your own thoughts on what you would do with the powers of light in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification so you miss out on any videos that come on the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below and support for Zoe as $1 a month. Thanks to some videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for Zoe as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? All the Pencil here, and here we are to talk about what would happen if that guy with a pencil, had the powers of light. From 7 Deadly Sins very specifically. There are tons of powers of light in fiction, and obviously they all have different applications and uses, and my main use of it would be from 7 Deadly Sins, at least in this context. Let's talk about what I would do with it. In a very similar vein to the Meliodas video, I'm going to give myself the most ample amount of light in its control. I'm not directly a goddess, I do not have direct access to that, but I am, in fact, a wielder of light. Specifically the light of, like, Elizabeth. Like, end of series Elizabeth, like time skip Elizabeth. However broken she is now, I have that much light powers. So, like, it's pretty snap, don't get me wrong, but I'm still human. I can still suffer. I'm still not entirely indestructible, but I do now have the powers of light. So I will admit, light is like, it's very good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's not as useful. I mean, maybe not. Like, light would have to be a whole paradigm shift if I were to have it, especially if I was like Elizabeth, like straight up like the human reincarnation of Elizabeth, and I had my regular human biology, lifespan, and everything, but my eyes were constantly lit up with Triskelion. Like, hypothetically, in the darkness video, one thing I talked about was how I'd be constantly covering myself in darkness, and like, the entire time, like, nothing would be able to stop me because I'd be consistently covered in darkness, pretty much walking around in armor. I can't necessarily do that with light. Like, we've never seen any of them form light armor, so I don't think that's a possibility, which is going to be annoying, and that means I can be way less reckless, because unfortunately it's just out of my control. Like, I simply cannot do it, because it's not an ability that we've seen any of them show, so it's out of my jurisdiction. And I think I'd also get contacts. Like, I don't think I could explain Triskelion. Like, maybe I could write them off as contacts, but like, I'm assuming a pair of weird shaped glow-in-the-dark eyes would probably be a bit concerning. Like, imagine just seeing me walking down the street and you notice, like, just a quick glance and you see, like, weird shapes in my eyes. I'd be concerned too. I would not want to walk by that person. Meanwhile, I could write off dark eyes by just, like, saying I have dark eyes. Like, there are people who have seemingly voids for eyes, and they are just fine. I can't explain Triskelion. So I'd probably wear contacts, and I'd be a lot more subtle. Those are two big changes that come from me having light instead of darkness, because the darkness I can kind of while out, especially with Meliodas tier darkness. Like, nothing on this planet's really going to harm me. Meanwhile, light is going to have to be a much more active, much more engaged force. There's going to be no way I'm going to be able to be as reckless and as open with my abilities as I was when I had the powers of darkness. However, that doesn't mean I don't have useful abilities that I won't be using all the time. Another ability that I do get, once again assuming I'm literally just the reincarnation of Elizabeth in terms of light powers in my biology, is I'm going to fly. Not as often, though. Once again, it's an ability that I would mainly use for short-term travel, quick motion, stuff like that, maybe getting a little bit of a boost. I don't think I would use it as freely, because once again, I just have no shielding, so I wouldn't be able to, like, fly into the atmosphere and do things without worrying about getting hit by things. Like, I would legit just hit a bird and then just perish because I get knocked out by a bird and fall. Like, that's no fun. I'm sorry. It's just not something I'm into, and I wouldn't do it. So flying would definitely be, like, low ground, secret, looking around, being like, you know, okay, is it safe? No one's watching. There are no cameras out. Boom. There are cameras everywhere, though, so I think I'd get caught eventually. However, a good thing about having light in comparison, I know I've been ragging on a little bit in comparison of the darkness, but a good thing is, like, I always said with darkness that nothing could hold me. Like, legitimately, if you were to bind me down, like, I would just flex a little bit, and bada bing, bada boom, the darkness would get me out of there, and I could really just, like, level entire kingdoms. You gotta realize, nothing on this earth was stopping me with Meliodas tier darkness. Heck, things off this earth, I could probably catch the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. Legitimately, with darkness, I could do that. However, the same case is with light. Like, sure, I'd be more worried about getting captured because they could probably do more damage to me in quick bursts because I wouldn't have a constant shield going up. But, like, if someone thinks it's funny to put me in danger, they're getting erased from existence. Like, I know that's wild, right? And I probably wouldn't do it to their entire body because I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to live like that. Like, if I took a life, I'd be like, oh no. And, like, that would just haunt me for the rest of my days. But, like, say someone points the Splagooter at me. They whip out the Splagaki and they're like, give me all your money. And I would look them dead in the eyes after popping out my contacts and being like, how much do you cherish that hand of yours? And they'd be like, what? And then snap my fingers, bada bing, bada boom. Their hand is gone because it got wiped out from existence because I literally spawned a spear of detonating light on them. Like, yeah, they're in trouble. that no person would ever really be able to properly put their hands on me without getting, like, blasted. And notably, arc spears are one way to use them. Like, just straight out spawn orbs of light. I just have, like, a literal finger Splagaki. Like, it's built in. I can point with my pinky finger. I could take a sip of tea and with my pinky finger shoot out a ray of judgment. Or at least just a light beam. It's possible. I can just do that. Just boop. Boop. Like literally, it's easy spray. I would be literally playing laser tag, but with actual lasers. Like real devastating lasers. Like nothing well works out for anybody who tries to like directly mess with me as long as I'm able to react. That's the only thing. Like if I can't react, then I'm still in trouble. I think I could still be put in extreme danger, but if I ever am like in a situation where I can perceive my opponents and like look at them or look at anyone who's trying to harm me, they're getting blasted. Like, I'm sorry, it's gonna be me or you, and it's not gonna be me. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, and bada ching chang. Like, legitimately, it would be disgusting. Ray of Judgment and Arc would probably be consistently used by me, except maybe not Ray of Judgment. Ray of Judgment wouldn't be used too much, but Arc definitely would, because it would be very hard to trace it back to me. I think that's the thing. Unlike with something like Ray of Judgment, where like you could literally see the light leaving my fingertips or wherever I choose to fire it from. I'm assuming if I really got creative, I could just open my mouth and fire a blah, like gigantic light blast if I really wanted to. But that would only be for dumb stuff. Like I would literally just do that if I felt like being stupid. But for arc spears, they just spawn. I could just make them appear. And even if it's like slight gestures, like I need to point in the general direction where I want them. Even still, an arc spear that spawns 10 feet away from me out of nowhere and disappears the second right after isn't going to raise any suspicions, or at least not towards me. People would look at it and be like, oh, the guy pointed his finger, but with my contacts in, they're going to be like, yeah, but there's no real way he did that. Like, there's no way. Like, that, like I would be hard to convict, essentially. Like, legitimately, I could just start pointing around everywhere or just gesturing. That's the thing. We see a lot of goddesses, like, directly try and aim. They point their hands. They do all the fancy hand motions and things. I wouldn't do all that. Elizabeth has shown on multiple occasions that you can kind of just pop them out without having to worry about it. I'm doing that. They're just gonna boop into existence. And the thing is, another ability that they have is to just maintain. They can just exist for a while, seemingly with no strain on their creator. Remember in the 3,000 past year war? I think that's how you would say it. The war of 3,000 years past, Ludoshel and the Archangels were just holding up a whole massive multi-tiered arc spell that was holding countless demon civilians that the Ten Commandments had to come rescue. And none of them were even focusing on it. The only thing is, I don't know what I would do with it. Like, it's a nice ability to have to spawn the arc spears, but like, what good does that do me? Like, other than having consistent defense, like the only thing is, I would have to get like consistently used to it. If I can just passively maintain it like the Archangels do, maybe I'd be a bit more open with my powers. Like, I just constantly walk around in a ball of arc, because like, if I'm on Elizabeth's level in terms of light magic, there's nothing that's going to be able to pierce that. So I would still be perfectly safe, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, I could sleep out. I feel just be awkward. Like, I wouldn't. And the thing is, unlike darkness, which admittedly can have malicious effects if like uncontrolled and not tamed properly, like light just seems to have no off switch. Like, it just burns you alive, slowly but surely. Some can resist it if they're powerful enough, but like, usually it just erases things if it's potent enough to be a barrier. And I don't want to erase people or my objects. Like, certain things will get wiped from existence. I will wipe out any threat to my life from existence. However, I don't want to wipe out my bed. if I want to go to sleep, I don't wipe out the floor. I don't want to have a divot. Like, legitimately, like, if I were to lay in a ball of arc spear, would I just fall through the floor? Like, would it just keep eating away at the ground below me? I think I just have to keep flying. Like, I would have to start levitating. I have to have my wings out and just stay flapping and just stay positioned in midair, asleep somehow. That's the thing. It's not as convenient as darkness, where I can kind of just be coated in armor and not have to worry about it. Darkness is not inherently corrosive, while light is just inherently corrosive, which is a little bit more annoying. I think the main ability you would consistently catch me using, though, if I had light, was healing. I think I would... It really depends, right? It's risky. Do I think anyone would want to take me out? Because, and I'm not talking about on a date, if you're wondering. Like, would anyone not like it if I became the #1 doctor in the world? I think some people wouldn't, because I would put them out of a job. Like, hypothetically, with goddess tier healing, they are crazy. Especially with Elizabeth tier healing, she can heal sicknesses, mental stuff, all the physical wounds you can imagine. Like, Mael, I still can't get over this to this day. Mael, the combatant of combatants, like the strongest archangel, bro's whole lifestyle is fighting. Up until this point, I don't think we'd ever seen him use a single healing spell. He pulls up on Escanor after Escanor's had both his arms torn apart, his body lashed into countless times, like nearly getting his head tapped off, and Mael just touches his forehead, and Escanor's like fully back to normal. Like, the level of healing that is insane. Regenerating limbs, I'm literally just the best healer on the planet. And that's if I just had Mael tier healing. I have Elizabeth tier healing. There's no such thing as a sickness anymore, because I can literally just touch your forehead and boom, you're done. Up, you lost an arm or a leg, touch ya, done. That sounds bad. But legitimately, like, I could just heal any ailment and any illness whenever. The only thing I'm concerned about is if, like, corporations would not like that. And they'd be like, hey, he's going to sleep. We know where he stays at. Get rid of him. Like, that's the only thing I'm concerned about. And you may be wondering, like, do you really have to worry about people destroying you in your sleep and stuff like that? Because technically, if I have light powers, I should be able to heal just fine. But the thing is, like, Elizabeth, like, end of series Elizabeth, had the curse reactivated on her, and she nearly fell to a rock. Just a big rock. It was not anything fancy. Just a straight up massive piece of stone nearly took her out of there. And Elizabeth is the strongest goddess in the entire series. Like outside of the Supreme Deity, she's the strongest goddess that we have ever seen, period, point blank. Relative to Prime Meliodas, has feats on the first form of Demon King's Elders. She has gains out the wazoo. But if she's caught off guard, she's rock level. Like, I can't take risks like that. So that's the only thing. Maybe it would just be isolated to me and those I care about and those I trust to keep a secret. Like, if one of my friends needed help or, like, got extremely hurt, say they got in a car crash and they were paralyzed, yeah, I'm gonna walk up into the hospital bed and be like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm so sorry. And meanwhile, I'm like pointing in specific directions to get rid of all the cameras somehow by just wiping them out with arc spears and be like, oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. Just give me a moment with him alone, doctor, please. All right, we're sorry. We're sorry, sir, Mr. Tuwap. We're gonna leave you alone with the patient and give you a moment as he rests and struggles. Tuwap, what are you? Boop. Oh, I'm fine. Like, oh, my legs are back. My arms are back. I can breathe. Oh, get this tube out of my mouth. I'm fine. Like, legitimately, I would just do that. I don't know. Is that bad? Like, would it be wrong of me? Would it be morally wrong of me to not use my healing powers on a wide scale out of fear for my own life? I don't think it's wrong. I'd try to. I think it would have to be subtle. Like, say I saw someone, then again, that would be even, I'm not sure what's worse. It may be even more terrifying. Like, imagine I walk down the street and see someone missing a limb, and I just, like, whisper, be well, under my breath, and suddenly they have the limb back. I think that would cause more, it'd be more harm than good in reality. Or, like, if someone was sick, I mean, like, little things would be fine. I think I'd be able to, like, whisper, be well, to someone who, like, just is suffering from a common cold, and or is coughing a lot, sneezing a lot, like, oh, You don't feel okay? Boom. I may be able to erase allergies. Like, I would have to be subtle. I don't think I could ever, like, take a tour de force or, like, really take my powers to the world and stuff like that. Because, once again, it's not safe enough. My off-guard durability is just too low, and I can't rely on light to protect me like I can rely on the darkness to. And even with my healing, right? Because my own self-healing is useful. If I do get myself in a dangerous situation, I just splat. Like, say something happens, I get hit by a car. As long as I'm in one piece, I am able to recover from it if I don't react to the car and block it with a light shield, which is nice. That's the thing. You can form these arc spears into things like barriers. You can make them big old weapons and stuff like that. But light it's just a lot more rigid. The only case I could see for light being a little bit less rigid is Mael when he uses those light blades. But even then, those are still simple constructs, and they're just triskelions that he spins really, really fast. Triskelions don't equal armor. They don't equal clothing. I still think it would have to be a subtle endeavor for me to use them properly. So I think realistically, light is a lot less... It's more useful to everyone else, because I can be a good healer. I can always make sure that everyone is okay. Everyone that I care about will never have to worry about getting sick, getting hurt, ever again. As long as they're alive, I can heal them. And I think overall, that'll be my most used ability. Like before, in the other video, it was more like, yeah, I'm just going to use darkness as like a malleable thing. It's just going to constantly be shape-shifting around me as my clothes, as weapons, as stuff like that, as self-defense and all that. But realistically, Pencil the Light Guy is just going to be Pencil the Light Guy. Like, nothing would change in my life, really. Outside, everyone would just appear a little bit healthier. No one would ever, like, there would be no more sick days. Every single sick day, you know, is a lie if you knew that I had light powers, because you're never getting sick again, because I'd always be worried. And I think, see, part of me really wants to fly, though. Like, since I don't have access to teleportation or anything like that, just having power over light does give me flight, because I could form. But technically, do those count? Maybe I wouldn't be able to fly, because, but then again, Elizabeth can do that, and she's human, but with a goddess soul. But she's half, like, if she's half goddess, half human, then maybe the wings are just like the part of the goddess thing. But if I can manifest things, it really depends. If the wings are something I can manifest, I should be able to manifest other stuff. It'd probably just be more difficult. And the corrosive, that's the big thing. It's the corrosive aspect of light that makes it much more annoying than darkness. Darkness does release miasma. It can make others sick, which is something I'd be worried about if I was consistently around my friends and stuff like that. But like light, it just eradicates everything. We've never seen the wings or the artificial wings Elizabeth makes in human form, like, interact with other things. She never uses them to attack or anything like that, so we don't know if they have the same properties. And I'm not sure if they, like, would I get those in the light DLC? Maybe not, because I don't know. We've never seen any other goddess spawn wings like that. And sure, like, the situation where goddesses could spawn wings is rare, because they all have wings. But then again, no, we see Margaret do the same thing. Margaret can spawn wings too. So wings are possible. So it really becomes a question, right? Because the wings are pretty complex. They're literally feathers, light feathers and stuff like that. So maybe, hold on. Maybe I've been approaching this from the wrong direction. If I can do things that are as complex as wings, I may not be able to make armor, per se, but I'll be able to make a thin, like, light. Ironically enough, it would just be a coat of feathers. I'd be walking around very consistently dressed like I'm going to a fashion show, because I'd consistently have arc feathers around me. And sure, things would probably be unguarded, like my feet. Once again, I do not want to corrode the ground where I walk, if that's possible. Maybe I'm just overthinking the whole corrosion thing, but I just can't remember a point where light just didn't tear through or annihilate something, whatever was being used. But if that effect doesn't happen, you're just going to consistently see me covered in feathers. Feathers and like bird wings constantly. And then I'll do everything stupid. Because if I can maintain that, as we've seen, goddesses can maintain arc and light magic separate from their direct consciousness, then take everything I said about being secretive and throw it out the window. I'm literally the world's most famous doctor. I'm healing literally everybody and everybody while I'm dressed up like a peacock. Like, legitimately, I'm just gonna be, I will legitimately be the biggest bird as I'm flying around everywhere, covered in my feathers. And I guess that would be the fun thing, right? Because since I'm consistently covered in feathers, no one would be able to identify me. Like, the only thing you get to see are my glowing orange triskelion eyes, and I think those are pretty hard to identify. If I ever want to go undercover, I just leave. I would do like weird, funny voices every time. I'd probably just be a goofy doctor. Like, I would want to. But the thing is, I'd want bread though. I wouldn't charge bread to everyone though. I think the kindness and like humanity in me would be like, I don't want to make people pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars for healing them, because like I have the ability to do it and it doesn't cost me anything. Like, I think Elizabeth, considering she just passively stood by and healed hundreds and hundreds of soldiers in a war against the Demon Clan without being worse for wear at all, I can't imagine what it would be like to heal like 10 people a day. Like, I would not even get tired. So I think if I'm able to consistently just wrap myself up in arc wings and just stay perfectly safe at all times, even when I'm sleeping. So like, if someone tries to take me up out of there, they literally fire off and they unload and they spray the entire area. And then there's just me covered in like feathers still unharmed, but everything else has a hole in it. Then I think it would work out, because then I'd just have fun. Like, I would be flying everywhere. Once again, I'd be flying up into the sky. I'd probably be doing dumb stuff. Once again, like I would go light fishing. And you may be wondering, hey Pencil, what's light fishing? A light fishing would be when I literally fly above the ocean looking for something I want to eat, see something I want to eat, point my finger and fire a ray of judgment through it. And be like, oh, you're mine. And then I just dive into the water and grab them and leave. It would be so strange. That's the thing. It would be such a weird shift to my lifestyle, though. Because, like, I don't think I'm limiting myself. I don't think light is as customizable as darkness. So I couldn't give myself, like, a consistent casual fit as I would with the darkness. It's just not a possibility. But with light, even if I look goofy, I'll look goofy in my multi-million-dollar mansion, because every single time any person with actual fat stacks needs help, I'm charging them a decent amount. Oh no, I got into a car accident. Oh, really, rich person? How much money do you have in your bank account right now? I'll give you anything. You don't need to give me anything. Just 2 million. 2 million? I'd have to sell some stock. Then you better get to selling, or I'm not helping you. Oh, okay. Here's the money. Perfect. Thank you. Boop. That's it? Yeah, that's it. But they said you were the mystical Matt. Yeah, have you not actually watched the news? Like, all I do is tap people, bro. Like, that's it. But that guy, he didn't have any limbs. I know. But now he does. Because I tapped him. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it would just be a lot more just dumb and mean, and like I would be very silly and goofy. Let's say that I'd be very silly and goofy. Like, anyone could come up to me on a random and be like, hey, could you, like, I'm not feeling too well, could you just like heal me up real quick? And I would just tap him. Like, that's it. Bada bing, bada boom, you're healed. Oh, how much do I owe you? Nothing. I don't know. I was just in a good mood. You got me at the right time. Thank you, Featherman. What would they call me? Like, the thing is, if I were to do videos, right, you would see me live reacting to Blue Lock dressed as Featherman. So I think I would just be that guy with the feathers. It'd be so stupid, but I would be that guy with the feathers, who can also just erase things from existence. Would that be weird? I think that would be weird. It would be so strange. Like, hey, greatest doctor in the world, there's a massive meteor coming at the planet and it's about to wipe the whole thing out. Oh, really? Hold on, give me a second. I just point in the general direction. Where is it? Like, where is the meteor? And they're like, it's like 40 degrees west. I bet. Boop! And then bada bing, bada boom, a massive giga arc spear shows up and absolutely annihilates the meteor. And then just go back to healing people. I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't see me using my light powers for anything else. I would just be that cool guy who runs around healing people at random and or charging people extreme prices if I think they can afford it. It would be rough. The thing is, I would definitely help out those who need it the most. Like, someone's like, hey, like, I get an email one day, hey, they have stage 5. I need help. Okay, where are you? I'm here very specifically. Oh, okay, no problem. I'm right here. And that would just appear there because I can fly super fast because I have Elizabeth tier light powers. And I just heal them and I leave. Bada bing, bada boom. All good. Yeah, I don't know. I think light would be fun. Would it be fun to the same degree that darkness is? I'm sorry, I know I've been bringing up darkness so much throughout the video, but they are parallels. Light literally eats darkness in Seven Deadly Sins world. I don't think so. I just don't think it would be as fun. I don't think I'd be able to walk around and have the same level of diversity and fun and chaotic mayhem that I would with darkness in terms of just its flexibility and malleability. But in terms of utility, in terms of like things I would be interested in doing, like healing others, helping others out, making sure that I can fly everywhere freely, light fishing, like all the dumb stuff I could do with light would be near to the level of darkness, and I would actually be able to help out more people with like genuine healing in comparison to darkness, where it's like I'm pretty much the only one that benefits from it. No one else really gets any help. So that's me. That's what I would do with light. But please tell me what you would do with light in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure the little notification will so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. It's for as low as $1 a month. Thanks to some videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.